ready to burn out and to fade away.
Hey, what's up guys? I am Brian at WhisperStatus74. Welcome to the community, welcome to the channel. If you are seeing me for the very first time, please consider liking and subscribing, as we are a very small tech community, real tech for real people, where your opinions, your perspective, your comments are valued. Most of the best information in these videos can be found from you guys in the comments, and I thank you. And thank you for joining me today. We will be looking at the Sony X950H, which looks pretty blown out in the back due to the aperture on my camera. It is a very rare treat for our community, our small community, to have a 2020 display that has barely been released. We were the very first, or one of the very first, on YouTube in the country to get our hands on this display, and that is all thank you to Wendy and Robert Zahn of Value Electronics in Scarsdale, New York. You'll see their information all over this video, and their website will be in the description below. Please consider making your next purchase through them. They specialize in audio and home theater, displays, receivers, speakers, everything that you can imagine, from the mid-tier to the low end to the extremely high end. Amazing people, amazing service. Consider checking them out. Again, check the description below, but special thanks to Robert and Wendy, amazing people. For us to have this display here, as it looks completely blown out, so forgive me for that. And we're running it in a Spears and Munsell demo disc. We're going to do a full startup from factory reset, and I'm going to run through those settings with you on as if you were buying this display for the first time. So I will auto reset it to its factory settings, erase everything in the cache, everything in the data, and we'll walk through it together so you can see what Sony is offering this year in comparison to years past. There's some of the features that I wish it still had as far as picture settings, but there's also shortcuts, and I can see where they got rid of some of the features that many of us loved in our other Sonys. Now, I'm familiar with the Sony 950G and their settings, but we're going to go by what is new to this one in comparison to the 900F and the 900E. 950G may have had some of these features, but to see us not have to enable HDR through a color space like so many other companies is very welcome. It's been about an hour trying to find how to enable HDMI to give you HDR and Dolby Vision. It did that automatically, again, using the Spears and Munsell demo disc, which is playing in the back, which is also here. On the Panasonic UB820, I was able to watch a lot of Dolby Vision content in both Dolby Vision Dark and Dolby Vision Bright. I was very pleased with my findings and my experience with it watching Gemini Man. But we're going to do days and days and video upon video on this display, as well as our regular content in between. These videos will run long, but we are not going to do what I did with the Vizio, where I didn't do a lot of content on it. That display died on me, and I got very little out of it. There is no time limit, I've been told, with the 950H. We're also hoping to get the Samsung equivalent, the 80T, I believe, here at the same time. If that's possible, that would be amazing. But most importantly, I'm here to absolutely distract you from everything that's happening out there. That is my main goal. I don't want you to want to buy this or to make any purchases you're not comfortable with. What I want you to do is be completely distracted and completely taken out of what's happening. I'm off from my career for the foreseeable future. I'm going to be home. I'm going to be pumping out content like you would not believe. You will see Doom Eternal on this display. You will see the PS4. You'll see the Xbox One X. You'll see the PC. You'll see little parts of movies. I'll be doing movie reviews. We're going to get really, really into what I want to do on this channel. And please let me know in the comments if you like what you see and what you want to see. But to have a Sony like this in my home almost before anybody else is absolutely amazing. And again, thank you to Robert and Wendy. Let's get to the setup. We're going to power it down, get into a factory reset, and act as if you have it at home and see how it picks up on some of the devices that we have. I'm going to plug the Blu-ray player in it. It's going to show you how it recognizes it, and we will see you behind the camera. Sorry for the long intro. Again, thank you to Wendy and Robert. I'm just going to be geeking out, and I am here simply to distract you and make you think about anything else other than what's really happening out there. All right, guys. All right, guys, here we are behind the camera. I figured I'd show you the OS before we reset it. It does move much quicker than it has in the past. This is the home area screen. It's already been all set up. The HDMIs here are set up. And you'll see that it has recognized that as being game. That was where the PC was, and this is where the Panasonic UB820 is plugged in. We're going to leave those plugged into those spots and see how it does recognizing them. It's a little better than they used to be. The OS is, again, much snappier than it has been in the past as far as how quickly it responds. So we're going to go in, we're going to reset it. You have your inputs here, you have your notifications. And go in here to your settings, and you'll see device preferences, and you should be able to see reset down here. Now, we don't need to hard set it. There's no issues with the display at all. It's a very clean display. You can do a factory data reset, which is what most of us do when something's amiss. Erase data from internal stored storage. I'm going to leave that on for now and see how that setup goes. I want the same kind of setup when we launched it, but I already did this once. Let's see what it does without it. This will erase data from your device. Cancel. I will do, let's erase, let's just do it all. Cancel, erase everything. How's that? Let's do it. So we'll watch together as it erases everything. This will be a long video. It's going to take us a little while to go through everything. Now, I had to do this when I first got the display from Value Electronics, as there was an issue with the audio. I think they had that synced up to their entire system. There's your Sony emblem. So I didn't have any audio. So it's erasing all of my passwords and my Netflix and things of that nature, which is fine. I thought it'd be fun to show you guys this and show you how this setup actually works. There's the familiar scene. Now you're going to see clouding on the screen. You're going to see it's not evident here, but the local dimming is not actually enabled during this process, so keep that in mind. I have to keep saying that because I know a lot of people, they see blooming or clouding and they just lose their mind. We'll cover that in the details when we get into the display. And we'll do videos, guys. I don't have a rush time on this. We can take as much time as we need with the Sony. Do this together. I'm all set with that. You know, I'll sign into my Wi-Fi. Obviously, I'll turn that off for a second. So we connected successfully. We'll skip the Gmail thing. Accept. Yeah, I don't care about that. No. This will walk you through the whole Play Store process. And the casting to the TV through SmartCast. I thought you guys would want to see this demo thing here. I thought it was cool. Wish they kept that going. Now, one of you guys wanted to see the channel antenna scan, so I'll do that and see what happens there. I can't remember which one of you guys really wanted to see this, but somebody wanted to see this, so the scanning channels. I've never really seen much of that. I'm also in Connecticut in the US. So we'll actually just pause it till this comes out. So for scanning channels, it's got nothing. So for those of you that use that feature, I personally don't use it. So. We'll let it run a little longer. So who wanted that? Sorry, it didn't come up with any results. So we're going to go away from that. And we're going to skip that. Now we'll actually power on everything that we have. So we'll say HDMI 1. Okay, so we'll enable, we'll turn on my player and see how it recognizes it. It's telling me the current resolution. Cool, it's showing me the player, the UB820. So we're going to say yes. So at least it's recognizing the player. And then we'll see how it picks up the PS4. Give that a second to turn on. We should pick it up. It's not picking it up. So we got the HDMI 1 working, HDMI 4. I'm going to hit return back. So I will say what I like about what Samsung typically does with their stuff is things pick up and it'll tell you it's an Xbox One. So the PS4 Pro is connected to it. It's not picking it up, so we'll have to do setup ourselves. It's good to do this stuff live to actually show you how it works out. So say it's a game, and I'm not sure what it's trying to tell me it's enjoying, but there it is. So it needed to recognize it HDMI wise. What I do like about this new display is I don't have to enable HDMI to take HDR. It's on the stand. So we'll just do this while we're hanging out. This is going to be a little bit, okay. We're not going to do that. We'll just doing this together, you know. No, we'll skip this. Because this is what you're going to see with this Sony TV. So I know it's going to appear a little bit boring. I apologize. I do not want their Samba nonsense. I'm going to go ahead and disable that. You set it up for retail. That's done. That's it. That's your basic setup. Now, what I do want to show you guys, though, quickly is close. I don't want that. Is the home page. You know, you have all your I'm checking to see if we have Disney Plus here. Let's see. Because you should have it now. And from what I can see, no more Disney Plus. Now, I may have to go in here and grab it, but at this point, you should hope to see stuff like that be right on. So we'll check into that. Now, I want to show you guys some of the picture settings that are available. And we'll actually do that with the Panasonic Blu-ray player. Hold on one sec. So the Spears and Munsell disc is actually in the Panasonic UB820. Let's see if it picks it up. Or switches over to it automatically. Or lets me know. And it's automatically going to HDMI 1. So what I do want to show you guys is as we go into the UB820 and the demo material. We'll go into, I want to show you the Dolby Vision. We'll just show you, we'll do a Dolby Vision. We'll just do HDR10 first. I want to show you guys the picture settings. So as this loads, gotta turn the aperture up. Sorry about that. If I'm filming in 60, it won't show those lines, but we're going to go into the HDR settings here while this is playing. Now you have settings and you have picture mode. What you can do here is create a shortcut, edit, grab picture settings, and then see picture mode. I want that to be added. So when you go into picture settings, they're there instead of just picture mode. So right now we are in, let's do standard. So now at the bottom of the menu, when you go into it, instead of just saying picture mode, you've added it. And now you can add all your HDMIs, whatever you want. So here's your picture settings. We'll go through these together. They do show you these random pictures every time. You can see in the corner that we're already in HDR. I didn't have to enable HDMI or enable any kind of color space. I know this is a boring video, guys. I just want to show you guys what it's like to actually have one of these. The picture modes are standard, cinema, game, graphics, photo, and custom. That's it. Also, as you can see, the arrow next to custom only goes to the left. So there's no more cycling all the way through. You have to go all the way back through. Now, if I'm guessing, it's because over the years, us running through these settings have actually bricked our TVs with it. There is no Cinema Pro, which I love Cinema Pro and I love Cinema Home. So that's not here. I'm not sure if that was here for the 950G. So we'll go into standard and we'll see what's available for you guys. As you pan down, auto picture mode, which allows you to, I'm not a big fan of auto, but it kind of calibrates everything for you. We're going to go into the settings again. This is probably what I don't love about the settings, is I don't need this whole picture thing here. I don't want auto picture. The light sensor, we never leave that on. But here's your brightness, which is for Sony is your black light. Brightness, contrast, gamma, black level, black adjust, which I actually like black adjust on high. I do like black adjust. Your advanced contrast enhancer out of the box is on medium. Local dimming is on medium. I always put that on high. But as you can see, you can't cycle back through. See, I'm there at the end of advanced contrast enhancer. I can't go all the way through and have it go from high to off. A lot of us like to go from high to off to see how that looks. So we're low and there's it off. Extended dynamic range, which you know is typically enabled for HDR. And then we're back to brightness. So we're going to get out of that. Go into your contrast, your gamma, black level, black adjust, and then is your color. And for your temperatures, you have your basic color temperatures are, whoops, sorry. Here's your color, I'm sorry. You have to choose between, there's your live color, which I do like to have on during HDR. What's funny is medium is always the more saturated. And the color temperature, you have neutral, warm, expert, expert 2, and that's it. Expert 2, expert 1, warm, neutral, cool. That's what they've always had, but pretty basic. Yeah, so cool, neutral, warm, expert 1 and 2. Expert 1 and 2 is their Sony's more calibrated color. Back out, and then you have your clarity tab. For those of you that like reality creation, out of the box, it is at 60. For Sony, 50 is 0, which I always find interesting. I think it's still 0. I like going back to that. Reality creation. Here you have auto, and it has it on auto by default. So these are the settings that you want to enable or disable. I'm not a huge fan of reality creation. Some of you guys love it. Your noise reductions, smooth gradation. I typically leave this off, but smooth, we'll do a settings video on this as well. But it's there. And now when you guys are interested in motion, now motion has motion flow and cinema motion. They're sub menus. So as you go into motion, you have custom and off. So there's no more smooth cinema, true cinema, nothing. You either have custom or auto, which would probably be your true cinema. And you can choose the smoothness and the black frame insertion here if you want it. And Cinemotion has auto and off. My display has low, high, medium. So these are some of the things that many of you might not love, is stripping down of the settings and kind of having them in. You have less control. And you have your video signal letting you know what it is, which is just what's coming from the HDMI. And that's it. That's as basic as it is. We're going to run through the Dolby Vision settings really quickly as we end this demo. Now we are going to do one in Dolby Vision. We also are going to do a Dolby Vision settings video just to show you guys. Now again, the aperture is going to mess that up, so we'll raise that a little bit. Just to show you that we're in, there is the status key. That is, we'll show you on the player. See Dolby Vision on the UBA 20. Get that off. That's what I love about the UBA 20, showing you everything. And now we're going to go into the settings. Again, picture settings here. You can toggle quickly in between two modes, which is Dolby Vision Bright, Dolby Vision Dark. Dolby Vision Bright obviously is what it sounds like. It looks better in bright environment. I actually use it in Dolby Vision Dark for Netflix. But again, you want to, it does give you a couple little settings here, but I have the settings shortcut here. We'll go in and we'll take a look at Dolby Vision. I'll do a separate Dolby Vision settings video again. And as you know with Dolby Vision, it typically strips you of a lot of the flexibility. You have your typical brightness settings. Everything is still here. But out of the box, you can definitely see that, black adjust is on medium. And what's funny is, even though it does say, I was hoping it would have the Dolby Vision moniker up top instead of just saying HDR. I was hoping it was going to say Dolby Vision in the corner. It does not. But a lot of the same settings. I know that some of the earlier Sonys that had Dolby Vision, it actually locked you out of most of these settings. You couldn't change a lot of these settings. So they are more open, but, and it does let you go between the two. Dolby Vision Dark, Dolby Vision Bright. And that's a quick overview of the settings of the display. Sound. If you guys really want to see a sound settings one, hit me up and let me know in the comments what you want to see. That's pretty much the setting of the Sony X950H, 49 inches. It is a gorgeous display. I am loving it. The next video will be my early impressions of it, but I wanted to walk you through the setup of it. It's got a very nice black level. It's not totally devoid of blooming, though. I mean, there is blooming. It is an LED, and the aperture in the camera is actually up. So the aperture of the camera right now is actually pretty high. So if I made it to what I'm actually seeing, whoop, just knocked myself. So having the aperture at more of what I'm actually seeing during those black scenes would be about there. That's a little bit more accurate to what I would see. I'm going to do a video on this as well, I'll do a whole Spears and Munsell. I'll put their picture in the description as well. But that is the setup, basically, of the player. We'll show you quickly the PS4 and how quickly it is to switch over. I'll actually do that right now while we're talking. Actually, I'm sorry, we're going to inputs. And there's the PS4. And that's mine. These are my games, all of them which I am grossly behind on, that we have to get through. But that's it, guys. So, sorry for a very long video, but that's what it would be like if you were setting up the Sony X950H 2020. Again, very, very grateful to Value Electronics for letting me have this in my own home. I hope you guys are all healthy, happy, and safe. All right, guys, talk to you in the comments. Take care.